misinformation about the coronavirus has been lighting up the mainstream media airwaves for months now.
Which is, Twitter said, we will now be removing tweets if you contradict official authoritative health sources. So that's just what I did. Surgeon General is lying, CDC is lying, WHO is lying. Come at me.
Do you think they're lying?
Yes.
So that's directly because of this show, and if you don't think it is, you're fucking wrong, because no one else is putting pressure on Bernie Sanders right now in the progressive news space except me. And they're here. And guess what? I'm texting people at the tippy top of his campaign. They usually return my text. They're not doing it today. Guess what they're doing? They're all going, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we? We're not doing anything. And I implore everybody else who has a progressive YouTube channel right now to do what I'm doing. Do videos that are critical of your fucking progressive leaders and tell them to start doing shit. You're not doing it yet. I'm doing it. I'm leading the way. Fucking follow. I love all you guys. So fucking do it now. I'm telling everybody, all my friends, I want you to start doing videos that put pressure on Bernie Sanders and AOC and Ro Khanna and Tulsi Gabbard and fucking the squad and Sherrod Brown and Elizabeth Warren to start fucking doing something and get behind a red strike because now I finally got Bernie's people to start tweeting about this. Fucking finally, they're talking about the strikes.
Well, no one's going to say that. They're never going to admit. They're going to say we are adjusting we're adjusting our recommendations based on the new.
No, Joe, I'm going to be completely unreasonable. Okay. I know I have this mode where I become completely unreasonable.
Go ahead.
This is if that's where we are, then it's time to revolt.
Revolt how?
I don't know.
Well, we need people.
Civil disobedience, like. To put our healthcare people, I have not been off my property for weeks. The reason I'm here, in part, is to do what little I can, and it's very little, to support the people who are our literal heroes, our life and death, putting themselves in harm's way. The idea of hospital administrators abusing our physicians and nurses makes me apoplectic with rage. The fact that these people are told that they can't talk to the press and they write to me and their family and their children write to me. My mother was asked to do this. My uncle works in a prison. He's not allowed to wear a mask. He's not allowed to bring a mask. I sent a mask, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, there's a lot of those stories.
Okay. Yeah. What the hell is wrong? It is time for these people to resign, and it is time for us to remember that we have the ability to turn over our own government.
How's it, gang of dudes, dudettes? My name is Sean, and I am fucking pissed. Oh, by the way, I'm back, but that's beside the point. So, let's just get into it. Jimmy Dore's right. It's stupid. It's stupid that our leaders are failing to lead in this time. It's taken way too long for any of this shit to actually get taken care of. I still have my job, but a lot of people fucking don't. Look at this shit right here. Unemployment rate. U.S. unemployment rate jumped from 4.4% in March 2020, highest since its August 2017, well above market expectations of 3.8%. It's insane, guys. It is just too much. 7.14 million people, and it's rising. It's rising. For a virus that doesn't affect us as bad as the flu, but it doesn't mean it's not serious, okay? It doesn't mean you shouldn't have a little bit of food on hand. It doesn't mean you should go out and, scour everything and hoard everything. But we're getting regular shipments of stuff because of all these shortages. So every couple of days, get a little bit. Get just a little bit. Talk to your neighbors. Start yourself a garden. Stop relying on the government. This shit is getting crazy. Like, this guy is infectious. So there are people out there saying like, oh, it's all a government hoax, all a government conspiracy. No, but where it does come into play for the government is they are not doing any fucking thing. They're not doing anything. I'm going to read this article, but anyway, let's calm down a little bit. But I implore you, like Jimmy Dore said, go to Bernie Sanders, go to Andrew Yang, go to Tulsi Gabbard. Force them on this issue. If you guys have to go out there, you guys have to riot. If you need to, do that. If you need to protest at the very least, go do that. You guys have to go talk to your neighbors. This is, Eric Weinstein on Joe Rogan podcast called it as like the Great Sleep. Since World War II, we have not faced any real threat. And at this point in time, when the government is threatening to shut down everything, and control us this way over, something that is pretty serious. But it's only serious due to their lack of own well-being. They're hoarding. Apparently, the government's hoarding all this money. Where do they get this money? Are they just printing it off? What happened to inflation? What happened to you learn about in school? Our money has to be based off something. They gave four separate trillions to huge businesses and banks. And then American people stepped up and said, what the fuck about us? And then all said, oh yeah, well, we got a little bit of money to give you. And they've taken so fucking long to do it. Nancy Pelosi has blocked stimulus packages. The Republicans are only provisions they're putting in stimulus packages are for millionaires, businesses. This shit's fucking bullshit, guys. And then, the Democrats come in, oh, maybe we put a little bit of money in for America. No. And they're taking so fucking long to roll this shit out, dude. And then there's certain people who, like, for example, if you owe a little bit of back child support or something like that, they're going to say that you can't get you don't require. Like, just because that person, how's supposed to pay his child support then if he's out of a job? You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. There's people's lives are at stake here. There's going to be more people die from the lack of effort from our leaders than actual people of the fucking coronavirus. Okay? This shit it's stupid. It's stupid, okay? And our leaders need to lead now. Why is Bernie Sanders not going out there just saying, oh, I support people who picket. I support people who protest. No, call on people to protest. Call on people to not pay their rent. Call on people to not make their credit card payments. Scare the fucking banks. Scare the credit card companies. Scare the insurance companies. Fuck this shit, guys. Go out there and do your part. We are Americans. We can take our fucking country back. So let's go ahead and get into this fucking article, okay? I'm a little heated. You guys are going to have to just calm down about that. Go ahead and smack that fucking like button. Go ahead and put some grapes on that algorithm because Lord knows this channel needs it. Okay, so a review of the CARES Act suggests Democrats did manage to influence its direction, shifting some of its aid to individuals towards lower income families while imposing some conditions on its aid to businesses. Changes that Trump has already taken credit for. They also inserted some oversight provisions that Trump has already vowed to ignore. But Republicans won some huge concessions from Democrats, most notably a $500 billion bailout fund for big business and a $170 billion tax break for real estate investors like the president. I mean, that's just Politico and putting their partisan shit in here. But anyways, and Democrats didn't get much that Trump didn't actually want in exchange for helping him pour cash into a lockdown economy in an election year. They didn't guarantee postal voting in November elections or win any assurances that Trump administration will start complying with the White House subpoenas or get permanent stabilizers that could ensure fiscal support for the economy in future crises, even if the Democrat were president. So what they're saying here is the only reason why everything is so bad right now is because we was not prepared for any of this. We didn't have any money into it. We do this, hot potato fucking type of debates about healthcare and shit like that. We don't put no money into infrastructure. We don't put in, and then something happens and it all comes tumbling down. And that's what they're saying here is that now they're trying to get some stabilizers for future things like this that happen. Whoa. We should have this stuff in place anyway. But no, they're all worried about hoarding their own money, getting tax breaks for billionaires, and that's been going on since the 70s. And this shit is bullshit. We've been in this great sleep, this great nap since the Great War, since World War II. And we haven't faced any real consequences. And we've all been complacent, even though most of us live paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth, in the greatest country that's ever been on this freaking earth. And this is the things we get whenever all this shit goes down. We get squabbling. Anyways, let's continue. Nevertheless, the Senate passed the CARES Act 96 late Wednesday, and the Democratic-controlled House followed suit in an overwhelming voice support Friday. It was a far cry from the partisan obstruction of 2009, when only 3 Republicans helped Obama pass his stimulus bill in the first month of office. And one of them, the Senator Arlene Specter, faced such an intense backlash from his party that he became Democrat. This time, the Democratic opposition helped craft the response to the emergency, even though it gave Trump a bipartisan victory, and the president still refused to invite any Democrats to his bill signing ceremony. See, that's what they're doing. And Trump is just as guilty of this. They're playing this partisan stuff at a time where people are literally dying from their mistakes. Not just a flu virus, a mutated flu virus from China. Because our infrastructure is not willing to handle something that might get a tad bit out of hand, our shit's overrun now, and now they're making horrible decisions. It took you this long to make the Defense Act to keep masks in America, Trump. Like, what the fuck, dude? And then you have Pelosi over here playing hoppercator, saying, well, I guess we'll just allow half this money in the stimulus bill to go to the trillionaires, to go to the big banks. This shit's retarded. The 880-page legislation does not include plenty of random spending items proposed by the House Democrats, like $25 million for the Kennedy Center or Performing Arts, $45 million for agricultural marketing service. A few of those line items represent big ticket investments in Democratic priorities, like $25 billion for transit agencies ravaged by the pandemic and $10 billion for financial troubles of the U.S. Postal Service. It should be flipped. They should be getting the most money. Anyways, but the overall majority of the money in the bill falls into 4 categories: help for the health system, help for poor people, help for small businesses, and help for big businesses. Democrats generally wanted more than Republicans wanted for health, families, and they generally got their way, while the two parties generally agreed on a $366 billion small business bailout that includes strong protections for workers. It's the big business bailout where Democrats mostly caved, and that's a piece of legislation that raises the most questions. Look, these big businesses, Walmarts, all these different places have been buying up huge swaths of land, buying up huge swaths of the economy, taking over mom and pop shops, destroying our economy for their own gains, making it seem like we have a good economy, but no, the money's just sitting there. And then we're going to bail out these big businesses? No, have them open up their bank accounts and have them foot their own bills, and then the money that the taxpayers give you, you turn around and you use it on us. That's the way that works. But that's not the way they're doing it. And Nancy Pelosi was really, really happy with conceding to the Republicans for that, right? This shit is horrible, guys. This is bad. This is just bad. So what I implore you to do, searches for homesteading has skyrocketed. So what I implore you guys to do is talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk to your family. You guys need to pull your money together. If you get a stimulus check, all y'all just need to pull your money together. Go buy a plot of land. Maybe start a homestead. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be reliant on the government if the grocery stores decide they have to close. You don't want to. What are you going to do? You're going to start a garden now? You're going to stock up food? This is all. We're all living on a thin wire here. We're all walking on this tightrope, and we have the Democrats and Republicans at both ends shaking the rope as hard as they can to get everybody to fall off. So do what you got to do. If you're working at Amazon protest, if you're working anywhere where they're laying off people, where they're saying that they're not going to give you any pay afterwards, or not going to allow you to have your job back whenever the economy gets back on its feet, if your landlords are trying to get you to sign something saying that if you don't have to pay your rent for this month or two, then you'll make that money back up, don't sign nothing. And you guys go out there, you and if you have something like that, or a small business, if you're working somewhere and they don't allow you to wear masks, and they say, no, you can't wear a mask, no, you can't wear, for whatever fucking stupid reason is out there, then you call, I think it's the deputy attorney of your state, or whatever it is. Call your congressman. You guys get on board with this. Start protesting. Start tweeting. Tweet everybody. Your favorite person is Bernie Sanders, Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard. Tweet at them. Tweet at them right now. Make sure that they have our back. Make sure that they back us whenever we fight for ourselves, because they're not going to. We have to lead. They have to follow. That's all I got to say. And I appreciate you guys. And we'll see if I can get another video up soon. Okay.